Close your eyes for a minute, close your eyes for a second. I won't change my mind.
You guys just have to make do with my fashion faux pas. I thought with spring upon us, I would have a fair bit of time to, rearrange my wardrobe in preparation for, the warmer months. Because from last year's weather, it was really cold around the time that spring we ushered spring. And so thinking along that line, I felt I was good for another month. However, that is not the case. It is hot. It is looking like a hot spring season this year. Whilst I'm excited for the sun, I'm not prepared. I'm in between homes. And so I've got just 5 winter clothes here. And now I have to then now go back and rearrange and get some old spring summer wears just to complement and come do my vlogs. Otherwise, you guys just have to bear with me. Now, excuse my rant fest. What a way to welcome myself on YouTube today. Welcome guys, welcome back, my Posh fam. We are going to be talking about the viral trending news for this week, and boy is it filled with heartbreaks. We'll get into those and we'll just do a quick housekeeping. Thank you to my newest subscriber. I think we gained a few the last couple of weeks. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on board the Posh Fam train. Again, just find your playlist. There is a few things on my playlist that would entertain you. Go through them and see what you like, and please keep watching. For my regulars, my old die-hard Posh Fams, thank you for staying on. I do appreciate your show of support. As always, do not forget to continuously watch, comment, and like, as well as share this channel with your friends. Subscribe! With that said, let's get into what trended this week. As we prepare for the relaunch or the Real Housewives of Potomac new season coming to air very soon, it is worthy of note that Candice Dillard is on the news this week, and it's not for a good cause. She's probably getting her legal team together. And that is because Ashley Darby, who was married to Michael Darby, then of course they're gonna split views. I really don't know this. We're going to find out more about that situationship. However, the point here is Michael Darby is now suing Candice Dillard over an allegation that she made in relation to his sexuality. So, I don't know, guys. If you remember, was it season 3 where Michael Darby's sexual preferences or sexual dealings was, talked about a lot. These are all going to be alleged, guys, because I don't want to be sued, and I'm not going to say exactly what happened. Anyway, there were allegations that went back and forth between the housewives in that season where they were talking about Michael's seemingly preference for his type, and now he is literally taking her to court saying that she defamed him. And good luck. I'm gonna be trying to keep my ears on the ground to follow this particular court case and see what becomes of it. It's not looking good in Casa Candice Dillard, as they have to fork out the dollar for this particular fight. And with the court case still in progress, Kenya Moore and her ex Mark Daly will be headed to court for, I think, charges of contempt. And this is in relation to his daughter being exposed to, should I say, violence altercation that happened this season in the married Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you remember where Marlo was banging on Kenya's door in Alabama and the daughter was in the hotel room at the time. So this is going to be a lot, for Kenya Moore, given that her divorce is still ongoing. There's literally no end in sight. And I'm rooting for that chick. It's not a pretty thing to be fighting your ex in court and the two of you are not willing to, compromise or find a ground to mediate and settle. But this is me saying that because again, I'm going through it right now, so that I can totally relate. It gets messy. So all the best to Kenya Moore and Candice Gilead as they deal with their impending courts. It is heartbreak season. Now, I know over there in America, they should be approaching fall, like the winter months or the colder months. So people should literally be hibernating and coupling up, as it were, not going the separate ways. In Australia, however, it's another case because we're entering the warmer month. So it makes sense to actually be uncoupling, right? Yeah, so we literally were still unpacking the breakup announcement that is Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. And now this week, 2 more couples have decided they no longer want to be together. And I'm like, what is going on? They do say misery loves company, and that's me speaking for myself. So I feel like, should I say I'm in good company here? Do not laugh, guys. Do not laugh. But yes, sometimes you do sort of rally around your peers who are going through the same struggles as you are. Okay? Like I said, this is not the time for me to talk about my situation. There will be plenty of time to talk about it. I'm trying not to say anything or give anything away at this point in time because there's a lot of puzzles that is just flicking through the board, and I want to be sure that I know when is the right time to speak on it. With that said, I think the first one was Hugh Jackman and his wife of 27 years, guys. Deborah Lee Furness and Hugh Jackman decided that they are no longer going to be husband and wife. Say it isn't so. 27 years. I mean, the same shock that I had when Bill Gates and Belinda Gates announced they are going to Splitsville, as well as there's this famous business mogul minor guy here in Australia that has also just announced that him and his wife are going their separate ways. Now, they've got so much money riding on this divorce. They are like I'm sure we're talking about top 10 richest Aussie. He's going to be up there. And so when that came up, I'm like, oh my God, these rich people, if they can't get it right, there's no hope for the poor people then. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, it was the same shock. 27 years. She's 67. He is 54. So there's 13 years difference between them. And I'm like, why? They've gotten along this far, 27 years with 2 adopted kids between them. Why? And the statement they put out via people was just underwhelming. I got it from TMZ as usual, came through with the news for me this week. And I'm like, this statement is just BS. I said, let me do a little bit of digging. So I went to Hugh Jackman's Instagram page. There is not a lot. I don't think Deborah Lee Furness is on Instagram, because if she were, I haven't found, I don't know, she's not. I tried to find her, but she's not. She might be on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't really know. And so obviously I'm like, there has to be clues, right? You have to find the clues. So I went and kept digging, and I found, I think, a Valentine post where he was gushing about his wife. There was the season greeting post with the Ryan Reynolds joke on it with his wife. They seemed all loved up, right? There were a few other posts where I think he celebrated their anniversary and was just, again, gushing about his life. But then, I think from June or from July, all the photos of him was devoid of his wedding ring. So there was no more wedding ring. I'm like, okay, maybe that was when the issue started. And quite frankly, it kind of, I figured, when did the Hollywood strike started? It was around that same time. So obviously, these 2 people, now have the time of day to actually be in each other's space, and they are deciding, no, I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you smell anymore. Heck, I don't even like the way you sneeze. And you're breathing too much for my liking. And that's the thing, because obviously Hugh Jackman is a very busy actor, probably goes away half yearly. You know what I mean? So like most of the time he's away shooting movies, away from his family, away from his wife. And so, you know how when you are apart, all of those, gosh, I miss you, you know, the heart goes fonder when there's this distance. And now they're like each other's space, waking up together, and they've sort of lost the spark, I would say. I don't know what exactly is leading to these two old folks saying 27 years is too much and we still don't want to be together. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I hope both of them can find peace and happiness in the decision they have both made. Because again, it's a joint statement between the two of them. So I wouldn't know the specifics. I wish I was the cockroach in that house, but I cannot be, as it were. I'm here talking, gossiping about it. Now, just as the dust was settling away, still trying to unpack the Hugh Jackman situation, there's this other breaking news. Jenny May and her husband of 2 years, Jeezy, are filing for divorce. Apparently, Jeezy filed on September 14th, citing irreconcilable differences. The marriage is irretrievably broken. There is no possibility of reconciliation. And I'm like, sorry, there's something in the air. It has got to be something in the air. COVID is now, we can no longer blame the pandemic for all those breakups. Something is definitely going on. There's something in the air that we're breathing. How do we make this work? What is going on? What is going on? There is now speculations following Jenny May. Like Jenny May, I have actually followed her from this her lifestyle show, How Do I Look, on one of this lifestyle channels on, I think, DSTV in Nigeria and now Foxtel here. And so she's well known. I think she went on to do The Real, which is where she met her partner, Jeezy, of 2 years. They found themselves in 2021 during the pandemic, got married a year after, and then had a baby girl called, is it Mona? And you would think that they are still in the honeymoon phase, guys. You would think they are still in the honeymoon phase. However, it is not the case. They are now going Splitsville. Rumor mill has now gone over into overdrive, saying there's been some rumors, alleged cheating by Jenny May, but that can now safely be debunked, because on Sharrell's word is now coming to say that an overbearing mother-in-law might be one of the reasons why they are no longer able to cohabitate, as well as the fact that cultural differences is now playing a massive factor to their marriage woes. Well, I can check on those two as a reason to have issues. Mother-in-laws and cultural differences, I can totally relate. Now, as we all know, this is not Jenny May's first shot at happily ever after. She was married in 2007 with her now ex, who for 10 years, they were married for 10 years, and they went on to go, I guess, separate ways 10 years after, which was 2017. And no sooner had that divorce, she got over that divorce, she met Jeezy. So again, you would think that you would have learned a few lessons from your previous and taken away from that into your new relationship and finding ways to be a better person. Or, you know what, I can't even solve the problem. I cannot. Overbearing mother-in-law, I think the onus is now on us, future generation mother-in-law. We need to do better. We need to give our children's partners the space to breathe and not meddle in their affairs. Leave them alone to decide and decipher what will work in their situation. Your goal is to support and not to criticize the other. Okay? That's all I have to say. Now, good luck. And we wish these two all the best. I feel for the little baby that is now going to be in the middle of all of this because he does want joint physical custody. They've got an airtight prenup that we are hearing that Jenny May might be contesting. We don't know. However, all we can confirm now is they are no longer happily in love. Now, I looked at the photos from the man. I'm like, how do you go from this to this? How? Guys, if I haven't said this before, listen to me, okay? Social media is fake. You see, people are happy on there, but behind closed doors, it's not exactly happy days, okay? So whatever you see and consume from people's Instagram feed, take it with a pinch of salt because the real story, they're not telling you. Now, in all of this, we can say that despite all of this heartbreaks, split views, Sierra had an interview this week where she was gushing about her husband, Russell Wilson. They seem to have figured it out. Now, I'm just saying just because she feels that having God first, which I can completely agree, wholeheartedly agree, is the one thing that has kept their growth or the love strong or their marriage strong and evergreen. And all I can say is, Sierra, thank you. At least there is one successful marriage that we can celebrate in Hollywood. Okay? Now, with that said, I'm like done with all of this heartbreak news. Like, I don't know more heartbreaking news. I don't want to come next week and give you more. I wish I can say I can predict what's going to happen next week, but I can't. However, the VMAs came this week. It was the VMAs. There was a lot of shenanigans. And I was going to be uncovering the shenanigan between Tiffany Haddish stalking Shakira. I was going to come here and say that. However, that this whole divorce situation has now taken me down a different path. However, there's been a few other viral trending stories, and that's the fact that I think this happened last week or 2 weeks ago. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis were in the news a couple weeks back now. Apparently, they gave a character statement regarding a friend they have known who has now been convicted of child rape, whatever offenses. Now, this particular guy, Danim, whatever is his name, I'm not just gonna give me time of day. Allegedly, well, it's now confirmed because he's now been convicted, masterminded or orchestrated rape of so many victims. Now, he is a Scientologist. So all you Scientologists don't come on my feed to attack my story, okay? I am just reporting the news, all right? My source, TheShadeRoom, as well as TMZ. Please, because I hear the Scientologists, they are good at attacking people that speak negative about their organization. So I'm just reporting the news, folks. Nobody should come for me. Anyway, Ashton Kutcher apparently wrote supporting statements backing or in defense of this guy's character. And I think this particular statement got into the public domain, and there's been a lot of backlash. That resulted in Ashton and Mila Kunis coming to apologize for making this particular disastrous character defense piece. I guess they didn't think it was going to make the light of day or the public was going to get access to this particular letter. But the public got hold of it. And it kind of puts them in a bad light because Ashton represents a board that sort of fights for crime against sexual crimes against kids, women, and stuff. And so it kind of sounded hypocritical that he sort of on one hand is supporting or is seeking justice for people who are victims of sexual crimes, and now here he is also supporting a mate who, according to him, is known for 30 years, who is now being convicted of sexual crime related perpetrated against women and children. So it's a little bit it's a hard one to chew. And if you're on the outside looking in, you would say he definitely deserved this particular backlash that he's receiving. And what we now hear is he has now stepped down from the board of this particular foundation. And I guess it's a right move, Ashton, and you probably just need to go away, reflect, come back, and you know what? Do some few goods. Because yeah, it's not looking good for you. And this is because I would say, why am I reporting on this? This is not something I would like to talk about. I don't have all of the details. However, I want to say this. Be careful of the friends you keep. It's so important. Like, I'm sure my mom has hammered this on my head a few times while I was growing up, and probably that's the reason I don't even have friends. I don't know how to keep friends. I have people that I really respect and I like. However, I don't know how to cultivate or build a relationship or sustain a relationship. I don't know. It's just it's a hard thing for me to do. But you know what? I can't really blame myself, because actually social etiquette is taught in school. And I was never taught social etiquette back in Africa. Well, nobody cares about things like positive relationship, building positive relationship. It's not in our curriculum. They actually feel you're supposed to something that is self-taught. You should learn as you go. So I never did learn, and it's now hard for me to create and sustain positive relationship. It is hard. But guess what? It is a blessing in disguise, in that I don't think I would ever be in Ashton Kutcher's situation where he is now having to bite his tongue in defense of his friends who he thought he knew. Rightly so. You would think someone you've been friends with for 30 years would have this, wouldn't have this sort of character or go to the extent that to the point of conviction. You would not know. And that's the thing. People cannot reveal their true self to you. You only know what they tell you. You only know what they show you. And you're not there with them 24/7. So you can't really predict their behavior. And it can even change over time. So there's a lot of factors. And that is why you constantly have to be careful about the company you keep. Just so you can avoid all of this drama. You can avoid having to apologize to the world stage about an action that you seemingly are innocent of or unaware. And that's a lesson to young people. If you ever get to watch this, be mindful of the friends you keep. You don't know anyone's true intentions until it reveals itself. And the only time it will reveal itself might not be in a positive light. That's all I have to say. And that is why I decided I'm going to speak on this particular story. I don't know if it makes sense, but it did make sense to me at the time that I was going to talk about it. And that's it, guys. That is all for this week trending story. And I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Excuse all of the rant sessions that went down here. In the meantime, guys, seriously, stay safe and be focused. Until I come your way next week. See you soon.